Hey, so I'm back with another video. Now, this video is, going to be talking about, just if you watch my previous videos about what I've been dealing with when it comes to my daughter's um, other side of the family. And in one of the videos, I did say that I cut them off cold turkey because I did. Now, this is for the girlies or even the men who are single parents, but you still try to keep a relationship with the other side. So for 10 years, I literally tried to make everything work. And even after me moving and getting away from them, I was still keeping the lines of communication open. Now, I wasn't speaking with him. Like, I have not spoken to him physically since we left for Hawaii back in 2022. But I was still keeping communication with his mom because his mom was the only one that seemed like she wanted a relationship to stay open. So, and I let him know, because I was so tired of everything, I let him know that once I exhaust all options, I'm done with it. Because you're not bringing any substance to my child. And you clearly don't want to be a father. So that's been noted. That's okay. That's fine, because we gonna be good. Now, with me still keeping the lines of communication open with the grandparents, I still try to think positive. I still try to do everything in my power to let them know I'm not shutting that door. And I will work with you if you work with me. And sometimes you have to realize that sometimes it's just not going to work. Sometimes it's just not going to work. So I saw the video of me moving to Hawaii and whatnot, still keeping the lines of communication open. But, I wasn't there that long. So that was cool. Now, with me moving back to Hawaii, I was still talking to them. So they had it in their mind that I was going to move back to Florida. No, I'm not moving back to Florida. Why would I move back to Florida? I have no family there. You guys have put me through hell, and there is nothing for me to go back to. Now, I didn't actually say that to her, but I just initially told her that I need to be around my family. I need to go back home, get grounded, and get acclimated with my family, because Layla doesn't know them. Layla doesn't have a relationship with them. I gave you that time, and I'm not going to say that time was wasted, because I needed to take that journey. I needed to know that I did everything in my power for my child to make sure that I exhausted all options when it came to her knowing that side of the family. Now, I'm going to tell you a little statement. So as we're in the airport, because I didn't tell them I was even moving from Hawaii, because it's none of their business. But I actually spoke with her grandmother, Gert, and let her know, as we're in the airport, I let her know that we're moving back home. I just didn't feel like Hawaii was a good situation for me, and it wasn't a good place. It's not a good place to raise kids. I mean, especially with a person of color. Like, I need to be around my people. I need to be around what I'm used to. So her comment was, you're not going to just move back to Florida? You can move back to Florida? No. Why would I move back to Florida? Because if I move back to Florida, I would have to stay in your house. Like, it would just be a never ending. I'm really going back to start another 7-year cycle with you psychos. And I'm not doing that. But I wasn't telling her that on the phone. I was just thinking that in my mind. But for her to make the statement to say, well, I didn't know that it was about Taiwan. I didn't know that. Yes, you did. And it's not about him. It's about the whole entire situation and what you guys put me through. I'm going to leave it at that. So I get back to Alabama. I'm getting acclimated, with my family. I'm literally genuinely happy to be home. I have not been in my sister's presence. I have not been in my uncle and them presence for years. And I just felt like this was the best thing for me. And it was, because as soon as I got back home, I literally prospered. Now, the point of this video is to just let single parents know that if you're going through a situation of what I went through, sometimes the best thing to do is to just leave it be. Because after I moved back home, I spoke with Gert to let her know, hey, since we are back closer and we're not a whole island away and it's not difficult for you to see Layla during the summers, she can go down there and spend the entire summer with you guys. And I felt like that was a good thing for me to just, get my money up with my job, or, just get things prepared for, for myself and for Layla, and she can have that whole time to spend so it wouldn't feel like she was ripped away from them. Because I never wanted her to feel that way. And I never wanted her to wonder, like, why did this happen? Why can't I see them? What is going on? And that's a parent's biggest fear. Like, my biggest fear, like I said, was for me not to have my child grow up and her resenting me because she feels like I kept a part of her away from her. That's not it. And now that I am in this stage in my life, I know that I did the right thing. So let me just tell you a little gist. So the first summer, Layla went down. I would, her father, he would come down. Invader Zim would come down. We would meet at Birmingham Airport, and I would send her off with them. They would get on the plane. They would have their summers. I would FaceTime her and things like that. Now, I'm at work getting my money up. Like, literally, when overtime was allotted to me or afforded to me, this is before I started working home. And I may tell y'all the story of, from the time me touching down and how, once again, a job on Indeed found me. And literally, I have had that same job. That is the only job. And that is the same job that I've had for 4 years. Now, granted, I'm not working there anymore, but I will tell you that story later. But while she was going through the summer, I'm getting overtime, literally getting as much overtime as I can. Before I was able to work home, I'm literally going into the office 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, getting overtime, and literally staying until my whole shift till 5 p.m., sometimes 6, 7 o'clock. So I'm literally in that office for 12, 13 hours a day, just trying to get my money up. So she's down there for the summer, and, like I said, she has a passport, and they're going to, Mexico. My child has been to Mexico. My child has been to Europe and things like that. So that is something that I've always wanted. I can't do it right now. I don't even have a passport, but I don't care about that. I'll get one day. It's just like, once again, as a parent, you have to sacrifice. And, those things were never, if I don't have the money to do that right now, why would I force myself or pressure myself to try to get something done and I can't do it in the way that I want to? So if her grandparents can do that, by all means do that. Tell me what I need to do. I'll get it done. I got the paperwork done. I got her passport picture taken. I literally just tell me what I need to do and it will get done. But it came a point to where her grandmother would call me and she would tell me things that Layla would say, like trying to make it seem like Layla is not in the best care with me. Like bringing up things from years ago that Layla so happened to, say. She called me one day and she was like, I picked Layla up from school and she was just crying and crying and crying. And I tried to get her to tell me, and she was telling me about, about that daycare that you took her to after you pulled her out of Calvary, that daycare that you took her to. She was telling me about, the lady making her stand by the washing machine. Now, Layla used to be afraid of the washing machine, like the noise. And that's something like little kids are afraid of. But the way she tried to spin the story was trying to make it seem like my child is uncomfortable telling me things, or my child is harboring feelings and emotions that she's not able to express to me, her mother, who is there for her every day. We talk every day. My child is 7 years old at this point. She is very smart. She has a mind, and there's nothing that she does not tell me. She's 10 now, and she's telling me about crushes and things. So for you to wait until I allow my child to go with you during the summers, and that's your opportunity to want to call me and be all calculating and manipulative on the phone to try to tell me that my child is telling you secrets that never happened, or telling me that my child is uncomfortable talking to me about things. I'm not having that. I'm not having that. So I let it slide. Now, in between this time, her father is still floating around Florida. He's still messing with the girl who filed false police reports on him, blacked his eye, broke his ankle and shit like that. You're still in the midst of chaotic. But me thinking that I didn't leave my child with him, I left my child with you. So I'm content on leaving my child with you because you have a brain, don't you? From what I thought, you have a brain, and you wouldn't have my child be put in danger. But no, you were secretly giving my child to him and taking her to places that I don't know. You don't even know where your son lives. You don't even know where my child is. But see, you're trying so hard to force fatherhood on your son that you're willing to let my child fall between the cracks. And I'm not letting that happen. Now, this was the first summer because Layla came home, and let me tell you this, I would let her go down there and spend the entire summer with them. And then on top of that, we would rotate Christmas vacations. So she's been down there for Christmases as well. And when my child came home from Christmas break, and she tells me that she was sleeping on a basement floor next to a dirty ass dog and things like that, and telling and describing me what the house looked like, unclean, unsanitary. But you're this upstanding, bougie, classy woman. Why would you have my child in vicinities like that? Because you're trying to push a narrative. You're trying to force your son to be something that he never wanted to be, that he's not equipped to be, because you used to tell me that. She used to tell me that. He was never meant to be a father. He was never meant to do this. He's not capable of being a father. So why would you then get out of your body to try to prove a point to everybody around you to save face that your son is a good father? He's not. And you just can't bring it in your heart to say that. So instead of me getting mad and upset, I literally say, because I don't care who you're with. I don't care what her father does. I never did. But I do care about the safety of my child. And then on top of that, you have the nerve to want to be taking care of other people's kids that are not even yours. And you are not even taking care of your own seed? How dare you? How dare you? So I have a conversation with her once again, just like I did with the Disney World conversation, because this is my child, and I'm making sure that my child is good no matter what. Excuse me. So I have a conversation with her, and I tell her to do not let my child sleep over no one's house. If he wants to be with her, he needs to come to your house to do it. Now, mind you, I am 12 hours away. I really can't control anything. But if you're a mother, would you let your son go with his dad, the one that you said could not pick him out of a lineup? Would you risk your son's safety to go with somebody who does not have their life together, who you don't even know where that man lives? No, you wouldn't. But you want to do it to me. You want to prove a point so bad that I'm doing everything in my power for your son not to be a father, and that is not it. So I have a conversation with her, and she says, okay, it won't happen again. This past summer rolls around. No, she's been down there 2 summers. So this past summer, she didn't go anywhere. And we'll get to that one day. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. I don't know. Because I'm just literally so exhausted on talking about these people. And I finally got these people out of my life. But I want to do this video because there's a young lady or a young man somewhere that is still trying to make things work, that is still trying to think positive, that is still trying to do everything in their power to make sure that their kid is whole no matter what is going on. But sometimes it's just not like that, people. Sometimes you have to literally ask God for the plan. And I've done that so many times, but I wasn't asking God what I should do. I was just thinking what I should do. I never went to him and asked him, what is the best thing for us? But I started to. The summer before that, I let her go down there. And once again, she doesn't give a damn about anything that we spoke about. Once again, trying to call me and tell me things that my daughter supposedly told her that is or could potentially be detrimental to me as a mother. We're not doing that. And I didn't give her the reaction that she wanted, that she thought she was going to get. Because while you're over here still thinking that I am Brianna from 7 years ago, I have grown, I have healed, I have literally sat with myself and grounded myself and thought over and over and over again, am I doing the right thing? But this was before I was not asking God, what is the right thing to do? My child should not be asking, my 10-year-old should not be asking her father, has he got a job yet? Has he gotten a home yet? And the thing is, like I said, they will plant little seeds. So if they were planting little seeds in my head, what do you think they're doing to that child? Let me tell you this. If you have grandparents, if your child has grandparents who claims to love that child to death, I'm talking about would do anything for that child, but they want to turn around and spit and degrade and diminish the parent who is doing something, life, every chance they get, they cannot possibly love that child. So you have to really understand that if they are treating you a certain way, what makes you think that that won't eventually trickle down to your child? What makes you think that they're not planting manipulative seeds into that child to make that child think something differently about you? Now, mind you, in the whole time Layla has been born, she is 10, she will be 11 in January. I have yet to file for child support. Now, I tried to several times, and then as soon as I get the paperwork, I would just wash my hands with it. Because for one, sometimes child support doesn't even mean anything. This man has never been able to hold down a job. This man has never had the mental capacity to even care. Like I said, your child is not even in the same state as you, and you still are not offering money. You still are not trying to send something. Your mother is doing everything, and it's not even money. And you know what the mother does? The mother tries to trump the real mother, the parent. The mother tries to trump the parent to try to make them seem like they're doing what's best. You're sitting over here buying clothes that can't benefit my kid. But you're not buying school supplies. You're not buying any educational items. You're not buying anything that could justify my kid having growth. What the hell does all this polo mean? We have 4 seasons down here. What is my child going to do with summer clothes if she's coming back and there's about to be winter? Getting her unnecessary things. Buying her 3 of the same toys. She has 3 hoverboards. Tell me why. What's the point of that? So you can say that you're doing something when those material things don't even matter. So child support would have been nothing to me. And let me tell you something. The first time that I considered filing for child support, I spoke with his mom about it. And you know what she told me? She told me that if you decide to do that, then you can't get mad if Taiwan decides that he doesn't want to do anything else for Layla. What do you mean? What do you mean? So let's just say she needed oral surgery or something like that. I'm just making up something. Let's just say she needed oral surgery or something like that. And the child support has already been spent for clothes, food, school supplies, everything. And there's a major surgery that my child needs to have. So you're telling me I can't come out of my mouth to ask her parents to assist with that because he's already paying child support? That is bullshit to me. That's like me saying I'm not finna do nothing else because I already care for the kid. What sense does that make? Like, please help me understand, what sense does that make? And parents, please understand that sometimes even child support would have been another cord, another spiritual, mental cord that I would have to untie myself from. Sometimes court is not the best way because I do everything on my own. Never gave problems, never gave help, and you still don't see fit to do anything for my child. And I'm not even forcing you to do it. But you are comfortable in yourself to sit on your ass, to sit up here and take care of kids that are not even your own, and you just disregard my child. So I really had to sit with myself, and I had to sit with God, and I had to say, what is the best thing for me? And the best thing for me is to not have those people involved in our lives ever again. Ever again. And I will fight tooth and nail to make sure that that happens. Because I used to be so afraid of her hating me. Your child will never hate you. Your child knows what is going on. They may not know the full gist, but your child knows the emotions and the feelings, and they know what parent is actually there. Material things do not matter. Now I'm going to tell you this. I'm gonna tell you why I cut them. Why I'm gonna tell you what the straw that broke the camel's back was. It's month now. Anytime there was a holiday or anything like that, birthday, oh, she's sending out a mass text to everybody. Don't forget to tell this person happy birthday. Don't forget that there's a dinner for this person's birthday. But baby, when July 24th comes around, crickets. So I told you guys that the 2 summers, the last 2 summers, not this summer that just passed, the 2 summers before that, she was down there. And the only thing that I asked was for my child to call me on my birthday. Do you know she would deliberately not have that happen? So the summer before last, I called. I waited the entire day. Now, mind you, I'm in Florida as well. I'm in the same vicinity as them, but I'm not letting them know that. I'm visiting my best friend for my birthday. But that's none of their business. So I waited all day. And I called. And I call her tablet. And I'm like, Mom, you know what today is? You forgot about me, girl? And she was like, today's your birthday, Mommy? And I'm like, now she's 7, 8. I don't even remember my mom's birthday at that age, but my grandma always made it a point to remind us, today's your mom's birthday. You can't even give me that because you are so vindictive and you are so just jealous of my spirit, of my light, that you want to do anything to hurt me because your words weren't getting to me anymore. So, and you know you can't get to me anymore. So what you do, you try to have my child hurt me. My child didn't hurt me. She's 7, she's 8. Of course she's not going to remember my birthday, but you do. You do. Why would you do that? And then I'm on the tablet with Layla, and we're talking. She was like, Mommy, it's your birthday. She's literally standing in the kitchen. I can hear her voice. Oh my God, Bree, it's your birthday? Layla, why didn't you call your mommy? You are a poor, unfortunate soul. You 50-year-old lady. Now, even after all the things that they put me through, I still understand why she is a little girl trapped in a grown woman's body because of her life and what she had to endure. Her grandmother raised her. Her grandmother raised her. And you want to know why? Because her mother, her grandmother raised her. So why would you turn around and try to hurt someone's parent that you supposedly love so much? So parents, please wake up. Please sit down and really assess and think about your situation. I'm going to get back to why I cut them off cold turkey. Now, it's Mother's Day. Normally, on Mother's Day, I have Layla call her. Immediately, I have Layla call her. Tell her happy Mother's Day and everything. I have Layla call everybody who's a mother figure to her and make sure that I'm not saying nothing. I don't have nothing. You're not my mom. I don't have nothing to say to you. But my child is. I'm going to make sure my child does that. My child calls her grandmother on Mother's Day and she ignores her. She ignores her. So she called her that morning. I said, okay, Mom. I call my baby mom. I said, okay, Mom, just wait and we'll try again later on. She called her grandmother twice. Now, normally after the first time she calls, her grandmother is calling right back. I'm talking about waste no time. She didn't call my baby back at all. And you know what that did to my child? That crushed her. And me Got to keep the brave face on. Got to be like, okay, well, it's all right. It's okay. Mimi will talk to you. She'll get back to you eventually. The next day, crickets. So you know what I do? I take my child to school and I text her grandmother a nice little message. Hey, I just wanted to talk to you about some things. Just let me know when you're available to speak. She texts me immediately. Okay? You text me back immediately. Soon as I drop my child off and I get back home before I'm about to clock in for work, she calls me. And I tell her, I said, Layla called you for Mother's Day yesterday twice. And she says you didn't call her back. When I tell you, she was on that phone trying to get her shit, trying to get her lies together. Because you feel somebody's energy. You feel when bullshit is about to be spewed at you. So I waited comfortably. Because like I said, I've been healing. And I know the patterns of these people. Because narcissists and people who think that they doing something, who think that they got mind control over Debo, they don't never switch up. They don't never switch up their patterns. They don't never switch up the game. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. They old dogging around. They Snoop dogging around this bitch. No offense to Snoop. Love you. So she says, oh my God, I was on a plane. Blah, 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 blah. You weren't on a plane. What do you mean you were on a plane? You was on a plane with Dwayne? You was on a plane with Nikki? Explain to me. Still calm, still cool, still collected. Because now you're trying to hurt my kid. Because you're so pissed off at me about what? About what? Something that you made up in your head. So I tell her, I said, I'm very upset because that hurt my child's feelings. Normally, you call back like this. I said, and for you to have been on a plane, you didn't even attempt to try to call her back. Oh, well, stumbling and fumbling over her words. Because you don't know this Brianna. You don't know this Brianna. You're used to the Brianna that is frazzled, that is anxiety ridden, that is, trying to get her words together because you intimidate her. No, you're speaking to Brianna, Layla's mother, the one who is calling you, trying to see why you dismissed my kid. So she couldn't even get her words together. She couldn't even make up a justified lie. She just sat there on the phone, sounding stupid. So she told me she was going to call my child back. Cool. Do that. So she calls Layla back. Now, after she calls, now I have a habit of checking Layla's tablet. Now, they got her a tablet. They've been getting her tablet since she was a baby. And I've been against that. But if that's a gift you want to give them, cool. So I look in the tablet because they message her and things like that. I look at the tablet, and the things that I saw in that tablet blew my fucking mind. For one, my 10-year-old has a TikTok. Why does she have a TikTok? Because the way her tablet is set up, they have all the passwords. They have the Gmail account set up. That I don't have anything to do with that. I don't know the passcode. I know the passcode to getting her tablet, but that's about it. But I check that tablet frequently. Why does my child have a TikTok? And you didn't inform me on that. Why is my child on YouTube? And I've been saying this since Layla was about 5 years old. I do not want her on YouTube. You need to filter that. If it's not YouTube Kids, I don't even trust YouTube Kids for real. Everything that I'm trying to put in place, you guys are tearing down. So what does that have your child think? Well, Mimi said I could do it. Pop said I could do it. My dad said I can do it. So it's three of them against one. That's what you're trying to infiltrate and put into my child's mind. That your mother's wishes, your mother's concerns, your mother's restrictions don't matter. We don't give a damn what your mom is talking about. You can have whatever you want, especially if your mom doesn't want it. Oh, we're definitely going to give it to you. How is that for the betterment of the child? How you say it, it say it takes a village to raise a child. How is the village doing that? That's not how I'm raising my child. So another thing, I look in the tablet. I look at her dad's messages. Why is my child asking you, do you have a job yet? First of all, why? I'm sorry, hold on. Okay. Had to get myself together because what I'm about to say is just, okay. So I look deeper into the messages between her and her father. And I see about 15, it's a 15 roll footage of videos and pictures of a burned down house. The same house that my child was sleeping in the basement on the floor. Burnt to a crisp. And her father has the nerve to send those horrific pictures to my child. Why would you send that to a 10-year-old? Having my child think of the worst things when it comes to her father. No child wants to see that. Why would you send that to my child? Knowing that she's not with you. Knowing that she could potentially my child is very smart. She could be potentially thinking of the worst things. And the way Layla is texting him, my child is so fucking smart. The way she is texting him, Daddy, are you okay? Daddy, what happened? Is everybody okay? She's asking if people are okay. And he wants to say that one of the children that he's taking care of with this little girl ends up in the hospital with 3rd-degree burns. And you want to tell my child that? Why would you give her that information? Now, mind you, Layla was set to be on a plane that next weekend, that following Friday. She was going down there for the summer. And God had been literally putting it in my heart. I just had an eerie feeling. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know why he kept giving me these feelings. But I'm just like, no, it's okay. It's all right. And lo and behold, my instinct, my intuition, my mother's gut told me, look in that tablet. Why would you send my kid pictures of an incinerated house? And why would you tell my child that somebody got hurt, somebody that she knows, somebody that she cares about? You could have waited until you saw her the next week to tell her that. But no, you put it beside yourself to want to send that shit to her now. And then you have the nerve to make the statement, yeah, Daddy's just glad you weren't there. She's already upset that she does not get to see you every day. So for you to plant that seed to make her feel bad about some shit that had nothing to do with her? What? Y'all see the phone? My hand is shaking because I just want to punch a wall right now. Why would you do that to our child? Now, a part of me wants to think that maybe he said that, maybe he told her that so that she couldn't come down there for the summer, but his mama wasn't having that. Plane tickets already bought, trips already booked. But you're on your ass right now. But you are a grown 34-year-old man sending your child horrific pictures, making her feel bad, telling her, "Oh, I'm glad you weren't here, but yeah, one of your friends got severely hurt in the fire." So Layla is asking more questions. Like I said, my child is could be president of the fucking United States. That's how much confidence I have in her. In science programs, I'm talking about straight A's, AB honor roll every year. You want to know why? Because her mother makes it a point to make sure that she learns, that she is whole within herself. Because I didn't have that. So I'm doing everything in my power to make sure my kid doesn't have to go through what I went through. My dad would never. My dad would never do that to his kids, to us, to me, my brother, and my sister. Oh, my dad would never. He will protect us by any means possible, but you don't even know what protection is because you've never been protected. You've just been coddled. You've just been placated all your life by your narcissistic mother. And you got her traits as well. So let me tell y'all what my child does. My child literally goes on Google and finds the news report about the house and sends the link to him. She found it on YouTube. I'm talking about, you see him, the girl, the kids, you see the house on fire, you see the fire trucks and all of that. And my child is asking him to explain himself. A 10-year-old. Why is your 10-year-old challenging you and asking you what happened? How did the house burn down? Now, if y'all watch my last videos, I done already put 2 and 2 together. That house burned down one of 2 ways. I'm gonna let y'all figure it out. Okay? Besides the fact, we want our kids to stay kids. We want our kids to only know, I'm not going to say only know happy things because they have to know what life is. But that was something, she was not a part of that. She was nowhere around that, but you made it a point to put her in that shit. So I call his mother. I'm talking about, we're on FaceTime. I'm calm, I'm cool, I'm collected. Because I know how you come. And I'm telling you, I have the same voice that I have every day. Because I don't yell. I'm a girl. I don't even know how to scream. My voice has been raspy. Me and my child, we have raspy, low voices. So, but I know how you come. I've known you for 10 years. So I know what games and what head play you're going to try to come with. So I'm going to let you talk. So I call her and I'm like, what's going on with Taiwan and this girl and the house burning down? I said, do you even know what's going on? She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. You are lying. Why are you lying to me? Why are you lying to me? I said, Miss Demetra, I'm looking at the messages. Now, in between time, she done text Layla, telling Layla to send her the pictures that her dad sent her. Once again, trying to go behind me and trying to conspire and connive to make it seem like I'm fucking crazy. You are literally texting my child, telling her to send pictures that, do y'all not communicate? Clearly you don't. So I asked her, I said, do you even know where this man lives? I don't know where. I said, well, Layla is supposed to be coming down there. And I said, I don't want her anywhere near that girl, his family, or anything like that. First time me's ever saying that in my life, because I don't care who you with. Now, normally he only gets with girls that have kids so that he can put our kid off on the other kid so he can just fuck off with the girl. I don't give a fuck. But now we talking about arson. We talking about fires. We talking about kids being in the hospital with 3rd-degree burns. Why are y'all not burned up, but this child is? Once again, not paying attention. Not looking at the safety and the betterment of my child. And you think my child is finna go down there? And I'm 12 hours away. On top of that, you guys don't like me. So parents, wake up and understand. If you do not feel like there is an open line of communication when it comes to your kid and even passing them off to the grandparents who you think have brains, do not do it. God is telling you to pause. God is telling you, you need to keep your child with you. Yes, it may be hard. Yes, that alone time may be taken away, but you can find other avenues to get that alone time. I can easily drop my kid off with my sister for a couple of hours and get my me time. It's nothing. But you think I'm finna just be so selfish and have my kid go down there? Now, let me tell you. She says, this is what pissed me off. So I told her I do not want her anywhere around those people, that girl or anything like that. She looks me dead in my face on FaceTime and says, you're a baby mama. I can't tell, like, you. I said, excuse me. For one, I said, let me stop you right there, Miss Demetra. For one, I'm not a baby mama. Don't you ever fix your mouth to call me a baby mother. The person, the woman, the mother. I am the mother of someone's child. Don't you ever come at me like that. The person, the parent that is doing everything, the parent that is making sure her child is an upstanding citizen, her child has common sense, her child can feel and know what her emotions are and know how to handle that out here in this world. And you guys are raising hell and giving chaos, and you want to trickle that on to my child? Don't you ever fix your mouth to call me a baby mother. Because I stand in my shit. I stand 10 toes down for mine. But can your son say the same? You are just a poor, unfortunate soul. There is something in you that is hurting, that is in pain, that never healed from whatever trauma you went through in your childhood, and you think you're going to do that to my kid? You think you're going to pass that generational shit on to my kid? Hell no. So I told y'all, if y'all been watching my videos, I told y'all she tries to start that double blinky eye shit. And then I was getting her so good with not even coming up out of my body, keeping the same tone. I'm only talking like this because I'm talking to y'all. I love y'all. But I'm literally calm, cool, collect on that FaceTime with the phone like this. Serving her nothing but facts. That's all I've done all my life. When somebody want to have a problem with me that don't make fucking sense, or they wanna do hurtful shit to me, I'm coming at you with facts. Facts, because you can't refute facts. You can't dismiss facts and the truth. I speak nothing but the truth. I'm grown as hell. I have no reason to lie. And what you're not gonna do is think that my child gonna live off lies the rest of her life. No, we're not doing that. So after I stopped her and I said, do not call me a baby mother. I'm the mother of someone's child, and you should respect me as so. I said, because how would you feel if somebody called you a baby mother? Because aren't you one? Aren't you a baby mother when it comes to his father and y'all's situation? But you think because you're married that you can call me that, because I'm not married or anything like that. Matter of fact, you've been married twice. Okay? But am I judging you? No. I don't ever judge anybody. Your life is not my life. Your situation is not my situation, but I'm not going to diminish what you had to go through when it came to raising him alone. I'm not going to diminish what you went through when it came to, damn, I done had a kid with somebody who I should not have. Fuck. Did I rub that in your face? Do I rub in your face every day that your son is a fuck up, a literal waste of space in this world? No. See, that's why I know you overcompensate for him. And he's so used to you building him up and snatching the rug up from underneath him. No wonder why he can't get his life together. No wonder why he always turns and looks to you, because you are a codependent drug. You're a drug to him. On top of him not even liking your ass. That has to hurt as a mother. That would hurt me to death if I knew my child genuinely did not like me. Because he's told me that before. And I'm just like, I can't fathom that. But you know what? I couldn't fathom that because I don't have my mom. And I could never fix my mouth to say I don't like my mom. My mom was the sweetest earth angel on this planet. So once I told her that, oh my God, I feel attacked. You need to lower your voice. I said, my voice hasn't changed, Miss Demetra. I said for 10 years. I said, I've known you for 10 years, right? Yes. I said, well, you've always told me that I could come to you and express anything that I needed to you. I said, I'm only coming to you with concerns as a mother. I said, didn't you tell me I could always do that? Literally using her words against her like she likes to do. Calms, she's not used to this, Bree. Because I have sat year after year after year trying to wrap my mind around why you people act like this. Why do you people do things like this? Why are y'all treating me like this? Because of the light I carry. Because you've never encountered, you were hoping that I was just that ratchet Alabama trash baby mama, so you could justify all the things that you've done to me over the years. So you could justify your son knocking up a nothing ass female. And you didn't get that. You didn't get the cards that you thought you were going to deal me. I 52 shuffled that ass. I 52 pickup. Y'all remember 52 pickup with the cards? I 52 pick up them shits back in your face. Very regal, very classy, very on point. Because I studied you. I studied you year after year after year to know what type of person you are. You are not good people. So why would I keep forcing not good people into my child's life? So child support, hell no. You will not have no ties to us. So you know what I did? She calmly, she started sniffling. I have to get off the phone. I have to go into work. Okay. Layla will be expecting your call later on today. And that's how I kept it. And she got off that phone. And you know what happened? They're literally texting my child's tablet, trying to conspire, and this is what broke the, literally, soon as she gets off the phone with me, she literally texts my child's tablet and tells her to delete the pictures that Taiwan sent her, that her father sent her of the burning house. First, she tells her to send the pictures, send the video, and then tells her to delete it from the tablet. Because I was going to save those pictures. But by the time I got back to it, Layla had deleted it. Once again, telling my child to do things that she should not do. And I sat with my child. I sat with Layla and I had to explain to her why she will never see those people again. And yes, my child cried. We cried together because I never want my child to feel that pain. But mommy has to let you know why good people should not stay in your life. Because as soon as my child would talk to them people, she would change. Parents, you have to pick up on that energy that's being filtered into your kid. Pick up on it. You know your kid. You know how your kid comes. You know what your kid is about. Don't ever dismiss that. Follow your intuition. Follow your spirit. Check your gut, because your gut will never be wrong. Check that shit. And you pray every day. You pray every day. And things will get better. I promise you. Because let me tell you something. After I found that, I text her and she kept asking, is Layla still going to come down? We have things booked. We have things booked. I didn't give her no answers. Literally silence. And she's not used to me doing that, because normally I'm on top of it. I'm texting her back immediately. No, you're not getting any of that from me. You're not getting any of my energy anymore. I gave y'all 10 years to get it together. 10 years to get it together. And you still are playing games with me and my child. I am over it. Done with it. Deuces. Okay? So, I text her one last message. I'm talking about, it's a long message. I wish I could pull it up, because I will read it to you guys. I wish I was kind of like techie. I don't know how to do shit, so I don't know how to like post the text message. You know how they be doing that little shit like that? I don't know how to do that. So, yeah. But basically, I told her it's done. And after I sent that message, I blocked everybody. And I cut that tablet off. Mind you, she has 2 tablets. And then the fact that they told her to grab that other tablet so they could still talk to her. You know, I found that other tablet, telling her to go in her closet to talk to them, so that when I came in her room, she would know to drop the tablet and I wouldn't know anything. Called it. You see how my God is? My God moves me. And I know my child. My child wouldn't disobey me like that. Now, mind you, she's an adolescent. She's about to be a tween soon. So I know things will happen, but no, you're deliberately telling my child what to do. And you know, I sat with Layla. After I told her, after I found all that out, I told her she was not going to see them again. Matter of fact, I didn't tell her she wasn't going to see them again. I told her that I don't know when she's going to see them. And I literally had to sit her down next. We both sat on the floor. And we sat face to face with each other. And I told her, I said, I love you. And you can feel all the feel. I want you to cry, scream, punch a pillow, whatever you need to do. After we have this conversation, you can go in your room and you can just let it all out. Because we're so used to, as kids, we're not able to feel our emotions. Our parents are just like, suck it up. Suck it up. Why you crying? I don't never do that to my kid. I let my kid feel whatever emotion she needs to. She's not going to bottle anything up. And I have to be the parent to be there for her when that happens. So after I told her that, and I asked her, I said, because I really wanted to know. And now that she's old enough, I can start asking her questions like that. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish up this video because I got to go take my nephew to work. But anyways, so I sat and I told her, I asked her, I said, if you were in Florida with your Mimi and your daddy, and you wanted to call me one day, and they told you not to, or they wouldn't let you call me, would you listen to them? And y'all, when I tell you, my child looked at me like I had 10 heads. She looked at me and she didn't even hesitate. She said, no, mommy. She said, no. When I tell you, that just let me know that I am a great mom, and that it doesn't matter what you say to my kid. It doesn't matter what seeds you try to plant into my kid's mind. She knows who her parent is. She knows who I am, and she knows that you can never stop her from loving me. You can never stop her from wanting to be with me, no matter how hard you try. She literally looked at me like I had 10 heads. Like, why would you even ask me that question? But I had to. Because as a parent, you fear that. Because I broke it down to her. I said, Layla, I said, haven't I always told you to make sure you listen to Mimi, Pop, and your daddy? Haven't I always told you to listen to what they say, and what they say goes? She said, yes. I said, so if they told you not to call me or not to answer your tablet when I'm calling you, would you? She said, no, mommy. So parents, even if you have to ask that question, ask it. Don't be afraid to talk to your kids. Because I used to be so afraid to ask those questions because I didn't want to plant any seeds. Because they're not doing it to her. They're doing it to me. No, they are doing it to your child too. So please understand that whatever decision you make to cut motherfuckers off cold turkey for your sanity and for your child's safety, you need to do that. And when I tell you that my child has not mentioned those people not one time, another fear that I used to be afraid of, at her asking me consistently, why can I go here? Why can I go there? Why can I go there? That was in May. We're in October now, and she has not uttered one word about these people. So trust your gut, parents. Trust yourself when you know you, and you know your kid, and you know what is for the betterment of your child. You know that if people aren't good to you, they can't ever be good to your kid. No matter how much you try to spin the story, no matter how much you try to be like, no, they wouldn't do that to my kid. Yes, they would, because they're doing it to get back at you. So that was just on my heart to make this video to let you know you're not doing anything wrong. Those thoughts in your head is not wrong. What you're thinking is not wrong. Trust your judgment. And with me not filing for child support, with me moving back home, I have done nothing but prosper. That was God telling me, you need to trust me. Trust me and I will take care of you. And he has taken care of us. I'm talking about I have not wanted for anything. Now, granted, I still had to work and do my self-healing and do my work. But best believe I'm teaching my child the same tools so she can pass that on to her kids and their kids. Oh, it's going to be a family motherfucking affair. We're going to know. So please believe in yourself. Trust yourself. Trust your judgment and know that you are doing a damn good job. And you don't need nobody to validate that. You don't need nobody to tell you what you already know. You're him, you're her, and keep doing it. And your child is him and her. And they don't need people like that stifling them, stagnating them, causing delays in their life. Because you think if she's not building us up and pulling the rug up from underneath us, she's not going to do that to my kid. You're not going to do that. So, I love y'all. Think about it. Sit with yourself. Ground yourself. And really, really think about the relationships that you have with grandparents, godmothers, aunts, and everything. You have to create that village that you trust. Make sure that circle is tight when it comes to your kids. If you don't feel like you can look to this person and wholeheartedly know that they have the best for you and your kid, don't fucking send them over there. Don't even talk. Cut them off. Let it go and keep moving forward. because God will literally carry you. He picked me up by my little collar and said, baby, come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Or the universe will bring a towel on your ass, and you don't want the universe to step in. So you got to listen. You got to pay attention, and you got to move when God is telling you to move. Or that could potentially be in a detriment for you and your child. You may dig yourself into a hole that you can't even come up out of. Don't do it. Okay? I love you. If you need to talk to me, I'm here. Leave me a comment. If so, if not, I'll be back with the next video. Love y'all.